Thanks, Wendy. So I want to start with a little story about back when I first started in this business, and I was working for a software development organization, and my manager came to me and said, we've come a long way. We're starting to do bigger and bigger systems. We really want to implement an organizational software measurement program. And Ian, you're going to lead it. And, in addition to your regular consulting work that you're doing for your clients and all your proposal work and all your other stuff as well. I said, okay, why, give me a little bit more information on this. Why do we need to do that? And so she says, well, we build software products, provide services, and we need to be able to understand what we're doing with these services, what's going on with them. We need to be able to evaluate how they're going, what's going on with them. Are they on track? Are they behind? What's the quality look like? We need to be able to evaluate these things. We need to be able to control them. So when we do the evaluation and understand that there's some corrective actions that need to take place, we need to be able to quantitatively assess what needs to happen to them. And finally, we need to be able to predict, because we're at point A, and what is it going to take to get to point B? Do we have the resources for that? Do we have the funding? What is it going to take to get there? We need to be able to have some quantitative analysis to be able to predict what's going to happen. So I said, okay, that's all right. I'll give it a shot. I like numbers, but really wasn't sure what I was getting into. And it wasn't too long before I got into it that I realized that there are some significant challenges to effective software measurement. Some of the difficulties are just basically due to the nature of measurement itself. When you start measuring something, behaviors change. When you start tracking things, if you start looking at things from a quantitative perspective, that impacts what's going on within that group. And then the nature of software makes it difficult as well. Software development is a very dynamic environment. Technologies are always changing. Programming languages come and go. Agile comes, DevSecOps. We've got all kinds of new approaches and methodologies. So it really, when things are that fluid and unstable, it's very difficult to measure that. We also, don't necessarily always apply the resources to software measurement that we need to, both from a financial and personnel experience, but also limited resources for actual measurement expertise. There's some science and structured approaches that I didn't have, so it was very difficult to do this effectively right off the bat. The unintended consequences of measurement, like I said, when you start measuring something, behaviors change. You can incentivize certain behaviors that maybe you didn't anticipate and don't want. And then I quickly ran into the lack of measurement standards, both from a methodology perspective and what it is that we're measuring. Particularly in the software world, there are some standards out there, but there's also a wide range of other things that aren't standardized whatsoever. The other challenge I really ran into was how my organization was approaching measurement. It was, we want you to do this, but don't give up your day job. We want you to make sure that you keep your clients happy, make sure you're working on the proposals that you need to. You get to measurement at the end of the day. And that's pretty exhausting. And when that's your secondary responsibility, that's the first thing that falls off of the to-do list when things get tight and other priorities are knocking on the door. And we were untrained. We didn't have the appropriate measurement techniques and approaches. And there's only so much you can do with a history degree at that point. So my organization leadership also said, okay, we start measuring things. We assume that would going to solve it. That particular activity would just solve our problem. So we start measuring things and collecting that information, and then it just sits there. It just sat there. Measurement became the shelfware. The critical part of using that information, doing some more rigorous analysis on it, and then applying it to decisions never happened. So it became obsolete and ineffective very quickly. And at the start, we were really just sort of, okay, what kind of data do we have? We got some information over here we can collect. We got some other information over here. Let's put that in our database, and it's easy to get. We can grab it real quickly. But then we look at it and say, okay, what are we doing with this again? Why are we collecting this information? We wouldn't have any real connection between the act of collecting that data and getting it down to a point where we could make decisions with it. So knowing that whole bottoms-up approach really was not effective. It made us feel like we were doing something and accomplished something, but at the end of the day, we really were accomplishing nothing. So I was at my wit's end and was ready to pack it in, but then this happened. My manager came to me and said, this isn't going well. We need to change our approach. We want to implement an effective measurement program. We've got to create some new habits. I said, what do you mean habits? What does that have to do with measurement? I said, okay, habits are the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. So when those three come together, we've got the what and the why with the knowledge. The skill is the how, and the desire is the want. When those come together, we create habits, things that start to become regular routine and part of how you go about business. When we say effective measurement program, we want a measurement program that really helps us understand where we are, that demonstrates the value to the organization and results in major organizational improvement. We want to make sure that the analysis we have makes you think about what else we really want to know as an organization. And like I said, it becomes integrated into our daily routine, not just this extra task that's bolted on. That's pretty cool. So we put together this idea of the 10 key habits that really turned around the software measurement program. And I tell you what, you're not going to believe number 8. And wait till we get there. Just have to keep clicking through. With that, you've got to have active support and advocacy from the senior management. The champion at the top level will set the tone for the rest of the organization. Whatever the top managers are talking about, that's what people pay attention to. So when you're trying to shift that organizational culture into one that introduces a measurement program, starts to do more quantitative analysis, that change has to start at the top. The organization has to understand what are the rewards for success, are there consequences of failure, and that champion in that leadership role really is that mouthpiece at the most senior levels that can help the program become the success that you want it to be. Habit number 2, you gotta have dedicated resources to measurement. So at that point, my boss is willing to let me shift my role, stop doing all the other work that I was doing because of the importance of this program to the organization. So I became the measurement program.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year. But if you use the coupon code LEARN to earn, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.